Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and this time I'm going to share with you guys some thoughts I had after watching The Ultimatum Season 2 on Netflix. I found Season 2 to be quite frustrating to watch. I didn't find myself rooting for any of the couples to make it through to the end, and I almost gave up thinking about making videos about them because I didn't know what advice I could give other than it's time to move on. However, when I thought about it more, I do want to use the narratives of this season to bring out certain themes and questions about relationships. And specifically in this video, I want to ask, is wanting marriage always a good thing? So the usual disclaimers, I've only watched up to episode 8 so far, and I'm only reacting to the narrative that's been presented on the show. I definitely don't claim to know these people fully. So a good place to illustrate my point is this group of couples, Riah Trey and Ryann and James. There are actually a lot of parallels between these two couples. So if we split the couples and firstly look at the commitment verbs, Riah and James. So both of them are very emotionally closed off. They both have trouble processing and expressing feelings, and this is mainly attributed to very difficult and lonely childhoods with single mothers who sounds like they weren't always emotionally available, and this has left them internally feeling very inadequate. They also both wonder if there's more to life than what they are currently experiencing and accomplishing. And we have to remember that these people are only 23 or 24 years old at the time of filming. So for James and Riah, their current relationships are actually their first serious relationships. And it is my feeling that when you have experienced a lot of emotional trauma, neglect, and a lot of insecurity in your upbringing, what you want from your first relationship as a young adult is mainly things like stability, comfort, and predictability. The bar is actually set quite low, because you don't feel that you have the luxury of considering or setting other criteria. The finer details of what you may prefer that you personally enjoy and find fulfillment in. Because your priority for now is to escape the pain and the neglect that you experience growing up. And this is what I feel sums up both couples. Ryann and Trey are the safe havens, partners that they could trust will always be there, who will never change and are very predictable. And then so within safe havens, you start to have room to grow. And as you grow and gain more of a sense of self, you start to be curious and feel that you deserve to explore what you want. And that's when things start shifting. On the other hand, Trey and Ryann have a lot in common. They both have had very secure sounding upbringings and are both very comfortable where they are. They want the conventional cookie cutter life of, stable job, marriage, house, kids, living in their hometown where they've always been, not branching out away too far from family. They're not curious about exploring anything beyond that model. They feel ready to be married, probably because they're at around the same life stage as when their parents got married. And they've both not really questioned if their current partners are right for them. To me, James and Riah have obviously grown past their current partners and relationship. They're ready for more self-development and discovery. It's not a time to be tied down and settle. James has aspirations, for example, of working in NASA and SpaceX. Riah wants to try her hand at moving to a bigger city like Atlanta and building a dream career. I always think that relationships are a two-way street, and rarely does all the fault lie with only one side. In my opinion, James and Riah are clearly stringing their partners along. They're both very independent people, and they both desire to focus on their goals and development, but they also don't want to let go of their safety blankets. They also do look up to their partners internally because they see themselves as damaged goods versus Trey and Ryann. On the other hand, I do want to question why Trey and Ryann insist on pushing marriage onto two people who are clearly hesitant, who clearly also have nothing in common with them, don't want the same things in life at all. If you're pushing that hard towards a direction that makes no sense, then usually it means that you're desperately running away from something else. And I think that in this case, that something else is denial. Denial that their partners have grown past them. Denial that they themselves actually have deep-seated insecurities that they don't want to look into. And things like marriage and kids, these are the best distractions when we don't want to look into ourselves. If I nominally tie down my partner with marriage, if I distract myself with what comes with marriage, planning a wedding, building a home, raising children, then I don't ever have to worry about whether my partner actually loves me or not. Or I don't have to worry about working on my own issues because I outwardly look like I've got it together. Superficially, my life looks like progress. I also think that people like Trey and Ryann do this because our society puts marriage and the people who want it on such a pedestal, as though wanting marriage inherently is always a good thing, regardless of context, that it's a sign of maturity. But what if the person who wants marriage is merely hiding their own insecurities behind the virtuous facade of commitment? What if marriage is just a way to validate themselves and convince others that they have no issues to work on? My view is that love is to want the best for someone, to want them to be their best self, not necessarily your version of their best self. Love shouldn't be about possession. In healthy relationships of any kind, people understand that everyone is still an individual. There should be an effort to understand their differences and a foundation of acceptance where differences are not taken personally, they're allowing each other to just be. And I understand that it's tricky and a very nuanced thing to gauge how much you need to have in common or how different is too different in a relationship. But I think the bottom line is this, that if you're constantly at odds with each other, if you're progressively eroding each other's sense of self and self-worth, if you're stopping each other from being your authentic selves, then the kindest thing is to let go. So those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was interesting and thought-provoking. Please like, subscribe, and share the video if you found it helpful. And if you would like to analyze with me your own personality, relationship patterns, and decision making, then please see booking details in the description box below.